Do you think that they do that type of behavior?
They weren't expecting it, and they were just kind of startled. And I think that's how we all were.
There's a hole there with the stick still in it. And, the end of the stick's all dirty from digging the hole.
They have taught me. This is what my experiences have been. I don't get my information because I read it in a book or I saw it online. This is my life.
I think there's various reasons for that. I believe that, those are the raw materials they have.
Happy Tuesday evening, everybody, and welcome to the NonnaBoss Continuum. Got a great guest for you guys tonight. I think you guys know him a little bit, just a little. But before I start and I introduce my guest, I do want to make an announcement, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm doing this before the show. I feel bad about it a little bit. Sorry, Jay, but I hope you will forgive me. Because if everybody rushes out towards the end of the show, you may not hear my announcement, and I think it's important. So, what I have decided to do is kind of take an idea that Daniela over at Hidden Existence and formerly at Bigfoot Odyssey, she used to run, it's called the Encounter Hub. And basically what it was, hey guys, basically it was a private stream where experiencers could get an email link a day or so before, and they can join in this private stream and kind of have almost like a like a campfire kind of conversation where people talk about their experiences and their encounters and how they've affected them, whether it be positive or negative, and be able to support one another. And so what I've decided to do is, here on my channel, we are all inclusive, right? We talk about the paranormal, we talk about cryptids, we talk about ET contact experiences, all these kinds of things. So what I have decided to do, guys, is I'm going to have my own, and it's going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be great. So it'll be set up so every single Saturday for a couple of hours during the day from maybe 2 to 4, we will have this available to all of you who want to participate. And one week it'll be cryptids, and one week it'll be paranormal, and one week it'll be, ET contact related. And then the fourth day of the month, we will do open to everybody. So I want you guys to kind of think about it. I'm going to start it in May. So you guys are going to kind of start seeing me kind of float out some flyers and make some posts, and I really hope that I can, get some good participation, because I really feel like this can help people. And this is not anything that's going to be recorded. It's not anything that's going to be, posted anywhere on social media. So if someone thinks, that they're coming on a podcast, it is not a podcast. It is absolutely, completely, totally private. It's not recorded in any way, and it's never going to be shared anywhere. So it's just, I really feel like when I started my show, I wanted to have guests on, but I also wanted to help people. I wanted to help people. And this is my way to give back to the community, right? Everybody's been so kind to me, and I want to give back and pay it forward and help people. And trust me, one thing that helped me and Matt through all of our struggles, whether it was cryptid, paranormal, ET, whatever it was, you guys were the ones that were there to hear our stories and listen and give us advice and help us through it all. And I want to give back to you guys. So that's it for my announcement. That's it. That's it. That's it. And thank you guys for everybody for being here in the chat tonight. But I do have a bio that I have to read. Jay Bachochin is a family man in the state of Wisconsin. He's a graphic designer, a cinematographer, and a film editor. Jay founded the Wisconsin Paranormal Investigators in 2007 to investigate and research UFOs and ghosts. Since 2014, he's been on a solo quest searching for the Wisconsin Sasquatch in southeast Wisconsin. In 2019, Jay had produced, filmed, edited, and directed his documentary, Finding Jay, streaming on Amazon Prime and Vimeo and available on Blu-ray. In 2022, he released a sequel to his first documentary, Beyond the Kettle, Finding Jay 2, also available on Blu-ray and streaming on, I added this for you, Jay, on Paraflix, Vimeo, and Amazon Prime. Actually, I think both of them are there. Jay has been interested in the paranormal since he was old enough to hold an interest. Jay was raised on creature features back in the early 70s. He just loved anything that was supernatural. It wasn't until 1979 when he witnessed something paranormal firsthand and saw the most amazing display of a well-lit flying object above their house in Lindenhurst, Illinois. What did his brother, sister, and mom see that night? They could all say it was a UFO, but until this day, they still can't explain what he saw. However, it was fascinating to watch these lights move in the night sky over a total of 20 minutes. Throughout Jay's life, he has experienced many encounters, but that didn't make sense. Jay experienced a 5-second blackout when he was 10 years old. The blackout didn't only happen to Jay at that time, but also his younger brother, his younger friend he was with at the time. This 5-second blackout was the most bizarre thing he can recall from childhood. How can two people share the same blackout? He has witnessed many different unidentified flying objects near his home and his current residence over the years. And since 2013, Jay has been investigating the Wisconsin Sasquatch and Dogman. He has had several sightings and has collected over 7 years worth of data. Jay believes we are not alone in our universe, but not alone in the woods. So let's give a warm welcome to my friend, Mr. Jay Bachochin. How are you?
How you doing, Marty?
I'm good.
Yeah, right. That was like long-winded. I gotta shorten that bio down to like two sentences, right? That was long. I'm sitting there like, oh man. No, but the thing is, I guess if you're gonna read about me,
I want, yeah, but I mean, it's
that's what it is.
important though, because it does give everyone, a lot of people just think you're just out there looking for Sasquatch, but no, you've got a very long history with things paranormal, things,
Absolutely. The thing is, people call me a Bigfooter or a Squatcher. I'm not. I'm a truth seeker. I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm not a ufologist. It's basically wherever the weirdness takes me. And in this case, right after Ghost and the Beast of Bray Road up here in Elkhorn, 15-minute drive from my house, so I can go out there anytime I want. It's close to the kettle. Get up into the kettle. It's where it takes me because prior to the 2013, Bigfoot to me was Elvis riding a unicorn, flying away. It didn't exist, no matter how much I believe. That's just it. I would believe in the Loch Ness monster, and possibly even some King Kong type gigantic ape, but it would be like that. But it was never Bigfoot. Bigfoot was the butt end of a joke. Did you know that when I first started doing this, people would be like, "So what are you going out in the woods for?" And I'm like, "I'm looking for a wood beast." I could not say Bigfoot. I couldn't.
You couldn't? You couldn't even just say it? Like you were just like, well,
I could say it. I could say it to me, but I could hear myself saying it like an astral projected out of myself, looking at me, going, I'm looking for Bigfoot. You know, you clown. What do you?
Yeah.
They don't exist. And
Mhm.
seriously, that's how it was way in the beginning because of that. And
Yeah.
the rest is
Well,
history from that point.
yeah. The last time that you were here, I think you just released Finding J2,
Yep,
right?
back in
Beyond the
August.
Kettle,
Yes,
Finding J2. I think you had
yeah,
just released it, so the last time you were here. So
I did.
lots
I
happened in
know
that time.
it was. Well, it
Wow.
started out on Vimeo because it was tough to get that back onto Prime, because Prime, since my
Mhm.
first film, really, nailed things down a little bit more for you to be able to get one back on there again. But then I did. Then I was also to be able to put it on Paraflix. And that's a great streaming service as well, because if, like, think about Netflix, but just all the cool stuff that I love.
I know, me
So
too. I
yeah,
know.
it's like, what else can you
I'm on
watch?
that stream. I am on Paraflix all the time because,
Yeah,
like it's just right up my alley. It's like that's what I want to watch. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to, Yeah, it's
it is,
great.
and it's good. And you were talking about the documentaries, and
Mhm.
it's like, I like to let me back up a little bit. TV shows, Finding Bigfoot. Now, anything that's on TV, this is my opinion. It's all based by advertising, money making, and it's a way to get you to watch again. And it's not knocking the investigators, that the researchers that were on
Right.
there, but still, it was the same treatment week after week. What I really tuned in for wasn't to see if they would, be able to find evidence of Bigfoot. It was always the town hall meetings, because
Yes.
I I wish they would actually come out with a Finding Bigfoot town hall meeting, and that's all it was, is people coming out, telling them their experiences, uh, do what Monsters in America did, kind of, do the animation of where it was at and everything. And that's always, I think,
Yeah.
important, because it's their story, but as a collective, it's that, I think that's kind of what brings out somewhat of the truth for me, because we all can't be crazy, can we? I mean, I guess we can, but I
Well, we
wouldn't think I
could,
wouldn't
but
think so.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Finding Bigfoot, I think that was the one that, like, kind of, my kids, I would watch it. I would be the first to the TV to watch it. Maybe the kids might show up, maybe not.
Yeah, well, you,
Like
you never know. Just yeah. I mean,
but it was on. It was on. It was always on.
it was. I mean, I started watching Ghost Hunters or Taps, back in early
Yes.
2000s, before it became saturated with paranormal stuff. That was
Mhm.
the one reality. Whoa, this is cool. That's actually kind of what made me go, Jay, you need to get out. Stop watching this TV. Get out there and discover for yourself. Go hunt the
Yeah.
truth. And that's what got me into the ghost hunting, which got me into Bray Road, which got me into the Kettle Moraine with
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
Well, let's start tonight with Bray Road. And I don't even think we touched on that whole situation the last time you were here, but let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so have you ever seen a dog man?
I would like to say I did, but it's one of those
Where you're not
weird.
sure?
No, no, no. It wasn't. No, it wasn't that I wasn't sure. It's basically weird the way I saw it. And you can't, on Bray Road or any of the surrounding roads, it's all private farmland. You can't drive on Bray Road and just park off and start looking for prints somewhere. You're going to have the sheriffs out there fast, because they're all connected out there. But you
Mhm.
can drive Bray Road and the surrounding roads. So I kind of call it patrolling. And there was one night coming back from the kettle. It was 1:30 in the morning,
Mhm.
driving with a person who went out with me, and we're kind of just doing the patrolling around. And I don't like to, it's 30 miles an hour there, 35. I was doing 18. I don't want to go too slow and be too, at that late at night, like I'm stalking houses.
Right.
That's how you feel sometimes. And I was with Sanjay, and he was actually looking at his camera. He actually had a camera, not his phone, but a camera. And he was looking at his digital pictures that he took from that night in the kettle. And as he was looking down, right off to my left, I pass a couple barns, and then it's basically just all, harvested fields. There's like nothing there except the oncoming lane, a really deep ditch, and then just wide open field. And as I'm driving, he's looking down, and all of a sudden I look right off to my left. I see what looks like, the reason why I'm saying 7 foot is because I was in my Ford Escape, and I know the height and everything, and it was right on the opposite side of the lane, right before the ditch. But here's the weird thing: is it looked like a drawing.
Really?
It sounds weird, but it it was like
You mean like
this,
two-dimensional, or you
like
mean
two
like?
like two-dimensional, almost
Mhm.
like if it was like, I mean, I could make out the features of a wolf face, the hands, and it was just kind of looking up. And remember, I'm driving, and it just kind of, whoa. And I remember just hitting the brakes. Sanji's like, and I hit back up because I feel comfortable in the car,
Right.
and I back up really quick, and then actually do kind of the beginning of a 3-point turn, and put my headlights out there. There's nothing.
It's gone.
Gone.
Wow.
And when I mean gone, there was nothing there. There wasn't a tree. There wasn't a shrub. There was nothing there. So it was like, what did I just misidentify that with?
Right, right.
And it's always that power of suggestion, right? If you look for something so much, you're gonna find it, even if
Mhm.
it's not it. You're still gonna see it because you're just so maybe so focused or so consumed with that. And I
Were
think,
you
what's that?
so you guys have been patrolling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you saw this, I'm gonna call it a creature,
Yeah.
did you see kind of like from like the waist up? Did you see the whole thing?
The full thing.
The
Do you know
full thing.
those big thing called fatheads? They're like big cardboard things that, they're life size, Han Solo,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But it was so quick because it's not, I'm driving, and I'm looking
Yeah.
in front of me, but it just kind of caught my in my peripheral on my left, and I got a good look at it because I got the description of it. But it was weird because it didn't seem real. And this was 2014, and this is all before people start talking about Dogman being interdimensional, or Bigfoot being
Mhm.
interdimensional, or everything. I'm just saying everything
Right,
going through
right.
portals, and it's there and it's not. I don't know,
Right,
but
right.
that's right before it, to where it was like I did not misidentify it. It was like the road, and there was a good 2 feet before the ditch, and the ditch had to have been
Mhm.
about 6 feet, 6.5 feet. I didn't actually go down and measure it, but it's kind
Wow.
of the way it was going down into the field. So, but it wasn't in the ditch. It was like on the side of the road.
Right on the
Yeah,
like right on the shoulder, like
yeah.
right where the wow.
And just think,
So what did it what did
all your listeners are getting a treat here, because I don't share this story ever, because it's literally, Jason, a fathead on the side. It's crazy. I know, but it's not one that I tell a lot because there's absolutely no proof. I did buy a body cam, dash cam after that happened,
after that
and
happened?
my car's always had one. I've had like 4 different ones since 2014. It's always rolling
And
24/7.
it's and got nothing, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I got some deer, raccoon,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, nothing weird. But
So
yeah.
so did it look at you?
No,
I mean,
it was like I
no,
was
it
just
was
driving
like
by, and it
just
was just like looking up in the sky.
wow.
Yeah, very weird.
And did it have that like Werewolf of London look or
Um,
Like, what
Oh,
was its legs like too? I always ask people that question. Like, were they like a dog, like shaped like a dog's leg, or were
yeah,
they like
yeah, yeah. I mean,
men's?
it's almost as if you got a canine, a big one, like German Shepherd, whatever,
Uh-huh.
and just get him to stand on his legs. That's the type of legs it was. I remember it looked like it had, it looked like it was hairy, but a two-dimensional hairy. But when I say the fat head or whatever's up like that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really mean to make it sound like it's glossy or a matte finish.
Right.
It
Matt
looked
Matt says it could have been the darkness and headlight causing the lack of dimension.
uh,
Huh? Never
very
know.
well. Yeah, I mean, again, I saw it and I freaked Sanjay out, and that's
Or
pretty much it.
Sanjay.
I know, right? He's just like, I missed everything. There was just a rabbit jumping out there. I missed that too. Um, but it is what it is with it. All I can do is document it. I actually came home from that night, and I was Richard Dreyfuss with drawing it on the table, going, "This means
Oh,
something,"
really?
you know. But I do it. So it's like I drew it and I kept the picture and I took a picture of it and keep it in my digital files, and
That's so cool.
yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, but besides then, this would have been 2014 as well, earlier in April, and the night before, me and another investigator were out. We actually broke the rule, pulled off this eye right off Bray in hospital actually, and I know you're not supposed to park there or anything, but it was dark. Get out of the car. Actually, it was his car, and he had music on still, so it's not like we were being totally quiet. We're just kind of looking out there, and I'm seeing the moon and video of the moon, and just kind of sitting under, just kind of absorbing it. And these grove of trees that were right in front of us this whole time. We were out there for 10, 15 minutes. All of a sudden, we're talking, and loudest crack right in front of us, which is weird because I'm like, we're out here talking kind of like this. I mean, if there's an animal that's 20 yards from us, let's say from the
Yeah.
road to the grove of trees, that animal I would think would have gotten spooked or just moseyed away. But it was a loud crack, and I had my audio recorder, and that's all that happened that night. I get home and show my wife and listen, and you're, and she goes, "Oh, okay."
Of
She's
course.
like, "Okay, a 50-pound raccoon, hit a tree," and I'm like, "No, it was a lot louder, I swear." And so the next day, my oldest daughter Maddie, she just lived right off almost Bray Road there back then, and we're gonna go visit her, and me and my wife drove there. I want to show her this spot, and then when you go there during the day, it's just like, man, this looks like Farmtown, USA, and here's a grove of trees, and there's a long grove of trees that goes down about 200 yards from where we're at. And I go, honestly, it was right here. And she's like, and she was driving because I'm taking pictures and everything. And she's like, okay, so you want to go now? I'm like, yeah, okay. So so she starts to do a 3-point turn where we're at. And all of a sudden something caught my eye along the tree line about 150 yards down, because out there it's all the farm field,
Hmm.
everything's down, nothing's growing. It's April, so it's just dirt. And then I see this tree line, and I see this auburn shape that stood out. Again, there was no greenery, it was all brown and everything, so
Hmm.
it was auburn versus the brown tree line. And I'm like, wait, drive down there. She's like, what? And so she gets back on the road. She's driving real slow, and we're starting to approach it. Again, why am I not using my iPhone to video coming up? I'm not, because I don't know what it is. It didn't look like it was bipedal, but it didn't look like it was quadruped either. It was weird. It almost
Hmm.
reminded me of a huge refrigerator. That sounds weird.
Wow.
And as we're driving up, I have my eye on it. My wife doesn't see it. She's driving on the road slowly, and I'm watching it. The closer we're getting to it, and closer, it melted into the woods. It just became the woods. Like, it didn't move. It just became the woods. But it was definitely a prominent auburn color. And
Interesting.
yeah, so I mean, the late Linda Godfrey, we were friends and we would research out there. She told me this was like about almost a year later when some witnesses came out and said they saw the beast and they got a picture of it. And we're like, yeah. And Linda goes, do you know where they were? And I go, where? And he goes, about 100 yards even further down where you were on Hospital Road. And they said what caught their eye was an auburn type something kneeling and digging up in the dirt. So it was really weird because, I didn't go public and talk about this, about anything like this. So again, it's what are we seeing out there?
Right.
So if you're going to tell me if it was a dog man or if it was a Bigfoot, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's like they're there and then they're not.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that. Thanks for sharing that with us because
you're welcome.
Yeah, like I've thought about it so many times with like, why didn't I ask Jay about like a dog man thing? He's right, lives there, like Marty, you and I've never had a conversation about dog man before.
No, so. And actually it's kind of weird because I don't, you always get, I don't say you, and I don't mean everybody watching this. I get these feelings. People today call it vibe. It's the vibe.
The vibe.
And I don't. I still say the old term because I'm old. Feeling of different things. Bray Road Hospital, that whole surrounding area has a weird vibe, and it's not like it's so scary, and it's not sad or I can't even explain the feeling when I go out there. But it's
like neutral.
No, well, that'd be the best. That'd be the best thing to say. Is it'd be neutral. It's, I can't even put it into words. All I know is I get out there, and I don't feel right.
Yeah.
And all this is farmland road. So
have you ever looked in to see if there was like ley lines in that area? I always wondered that.
This is going further down now because I knew Linda. Linda actually started researching with the Lee Hample farm, which I call the Skinwalker Ranch Part 2. Actually, I think Linda called it that. And that's right off Bowers, which is adjacent to Bray. They're all connected. Now, Lee's farm, this is a whole other weirdness. And I love going to visit Lee up there in his barn, and then he has trails that go out into his field, and he has things that he calls the goalpost, and you go beyond that and weird things happen. And they do, because it was a year ago that we were out there and a Colorado production team came out to film, me and some surrounding things with the cattle and everything.
I saw that.
Yeah. And here's what's weird. We went out to investigate and, I lost a half an hour of memory.
That's crazy.
It's basically the producer, when they got back to Colorado, would call me up saying, "What did you mean when you said this, this, this?" And I'm like, "I have a photographic memory. I literally, I pride myself on that. I know it." And I'm like, "I never said that." He goes, "Yeah, when you were, down here by, more of the swampy area." And I'm like, "We weren't down there." He goes, "Jay, you were. I'm watching it on film." And he actually sent me some clips, and I'm talking about something, and I don't remember saying it. It's creepy. And I don't know what that is, but it's that same vibe that I have just driving down there, but it's really strong there. And this is where we have seen orbs of light, these weird dancing lights. We even saw what looked like a ghost fire through thermal.
Wow.
Just a fire going, but there is no fire there.
Yeah. And what show was that? Because I am literally right now, I'm blanking out. I want to say it was a Paranormal Highway.
No, it wasn't that one. I mean, I was there with the Travel Channel. It was that episode, episode 8, season 3, The Beast of Bray Road.
Yeah,
that's what it was. It's on my press thing on my because I can't remember them all.
I know you can't remember everything, right?
But it was weird.
But
And
you were there a year ago with a different production of
yes,
you're
yes,
talking about. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So I'm just saying it's
It's
a
interesting.
lot of weird things. So it's basically, I don't look at it this way, and I try not to sound like I'm on a soapbox and I'm here. This is what I'm going to
Mhm.
say. But everybody seems to put Bigfoot in a box,
Right.
Dogman in its own box, Ghost and UFOs. Everything is separate. It's all different fields. And I'm sure a lot of people are starting to feel this more, but I feel like there's a whole connection with all of them.
Right.
And no proof. It's just that feeling because, when you get into Bigfoot of saying, the woo of Bigfoot, a majority of the people believe Bigfoot is flesh and blood, undiscovered ape creature. Then there's, the woo, which is they believe that Bigfoot is flesh and blood, but it also has special attributes that could be deemed supernatural.
Right.
Does that have anything to do with the Dogman? Because sometimes there's stories that Linda wrote that somewhere in Maine where, a Dogman, they were all around their property, and one of these ladies came out with a shotgun and actually shot at point blank range, and it was just like a flash of light, and the Dogman was gone, but it was there. It was flesh and blood, but then it wasn't.
You never know.
You never know. So that's why I like to just keep going.
Yeah.
Just accept it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the truth seeker in all of us, right? Like,
that's right.
because even if you get one answer, sometimes that one answer leads to a whole heap of more questions, right? So
no, absolutely. And nobody
takes time to chase down every lead, right?
Well, you have to, but like I said, I hear myself talk, and no, there is no expert in any of these fields, and those that do know more, which is great, we still honestly, bottom line, we really don't know what these are. But I'm also, that helps me to keep open to the part of the science, to the woo, to the to the supernatural attributes. And I believe once you do that, that's where I kind of, can feel the vibe,
Yes. Yeah, Matt and I talk a lot about, the Dogman, and we've talked about it, and he asks me questions, he'll be like, just thought-provoking questions, right? And he'll be like, well, what about this and what about that? And like, and I love the fact that at least him being, him having that skeptical mind, like, he does make me kind of go through my Rolodex of things that it can be way before we jump to, oh, it's this, and oh, it's that, and you know what I mean? Like, it's really good to kind of always have somebody that, helps you stay grounded, right? In this subject matter.
I think it is. And I also think the best answer is, I don't know, and it's like, well, you've been, Jay, you've been doing this for 10 years. Well, how about the people that have been doing it for 20 years, 25 years, 40 years that they've been vested into this, and we still don't know. But, like you said, it's a way to kind of keep grounded. That, I used to do a lot of hiking with Mary Marshall back in the day, and I'd call her Scully because she literally reminded me of Dana Scully from the X-Files, because it was literally, we're going to look at it from these points first before we get to your Bigfoot, Jay.
Question everything.
Yeah, no, 100%. You have to.
So let's talk about something then that's happened to you. You actually got concrete proof when you got what? You found a footprint. Let's talk about your footprint.
Oh, when that was back in 2014, and again, these are the best thing. 2014 in February, very snowy up here still in southeast Wisconsin. Kids were actually being babysat by grandma, and
no, this is a recent one.
Where?
Didn't you just recently get one? You found one and you casted it?
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't say. I have found a lot of
Oh, I'm
footprints,
sorry. I keep
and and
forgetting
and
that you've been doing
and
this for
and
like
and,
that,
may, and maybe some of your
for more
viewers
than a
don't know
decade.
this whole story.
What?
I'm just joking. No, the ones I found in 2014.
Okay. Well,
That's
tell
the
us that
one.
story too.
Well, that's the one that catapulted me into doing this because I found the ones where me and my wife just went out hiking on a very snowy day,
Mm.
and she just wanted to go for a hike, and I wanted to look around a little bit, you know. And as she's going, she's about 50 yards ahead of me because she likes to hike, and I'm following her tracks. So it's a 1.5, sometimes 2 foot of drifts of snow. It was snowing that hard earlier. Now it was just kind of trickling, and I'm following her tracks, and all of a sudden I see these big divots on left and right of where she just walked through. And at first I thought it was like either a rabbit hop or deer kind of prancing down the kettle. And as I got closer to it, I looked and they were deep impressions and they looked like feet, like bare feet, but big, huge. And again, I still was kind of on the line with the wood beast at that time. And, after seeing those, I saw another one. They were tightrope fashion. And,
Wow.
and they were coming down a kettle and they were about 53 inches in between heel to toe. And they were 17 and a half by 6 inches. And there was no drag mark while we're making snail marks because we can't pick our
Right.
feet up that much in the drifts of snow. These are thump, thump, all the way down. And so I documented the best I could. But that point, because I could not debunk it, because I was searching for the truth, if Bigfoot exists or not, that was the first one that said, this is weird. And no matter where I brought these from, you can't debunk these. These are actually on my website, the gallery. And that's what catapulted me. So that was my first set of prints ever. And I've found several different prints over the past 10 years, some not castable, some castable, but not having cast, rookie mistake. And then it raining and then it rushes away. So I have found and documented a lot of tracks. But this past one in January, which is the one you were talking about, Marty. Sorry about that. There's so many footprints. I don't
Oh,
know. A lot of them are good. This one was really unique too because definitely you saw like the toes, the deep impression into the ground to where, I'm 225 pounds and I'm jumping up and down as hard as I can trying to dig my heel into this ground. You can't do it. Kind of packed and everything. Like whatever this was had a tremendous amount of weight to it. And after documenting that, I did have the casting material, and I'm like, I'm going to cast this. And it was a great first cast for us. It was me, Maddie, and Chris out there late at night. We're in the kettle. You don't want to draw too much attention to it. We didn't want to do it during the day because
right.
whatever, you don't want people to see that. And so we casted it, and that's when I studied it a lot. And I could say I could be biased, saying after 10 years out here that I believe Bigfoot does exist, and it exists in southeast Wisconsin. While people might say, people might say their decisions is like, no, they're not. They can't be here because it's Wisconsin. There's no mountains out here. But I know they are out here, so I can say it comfortably now. Bigfoot exists in southeast Wisconsin, not the wood beast. I'm actually to the forest people now. I'm kind of doing an evolution.
Ah,
And yeah,
forest people now.
forest people.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be cutesy when you do it, because sometimes I feel like I should be like whistling a flute and dancing around and playing Renaissance music out there. I'm not. I like to keep it real. I like to keep it J. That's what I say when I'm out there. And
So when you how okay, so you found that print, right, that you casted in January.
mhm.
And then when did Maddie have her sighting? Was it kind of close to that, or was it? I think it was before, right?
It was before that, because that's what led me and Ben to come back out to take more pictures, because at that point, talked to my good friend Steve Coles, where He's
Mhm.
like, that's when he wanted to talk to us too, and he wanted to talk to Maddie. We're on his podcast, gracefully, and I record everything. I document with video, body cam, pictures, or whatever. And she had a really good sighting to where she saw it, and I had her film it.
Mhm.
And it's hard because I believe her, but it's still not me.
Mhm.
It was her sighting of what she saw, and that's what made us go down there. And she's looking at the woods, and she can see its head, its face, just sitting
Right.
there as still as can be. And I'm looking in her direction, and all I see is trees, because there's
Yes.
so much trees. It's like, where are you looking? Okay. I'm trying to
Where?
get like by her and everything, just trying to look. But I'm like, all right, here, I gave her I got my iPhone rolling with video. I said, don't take your eyes off it. And I put it in her hand, and I raised it up to her, and I said, just point it to where it's at, but don't take your eye off it. As soon as you do, it's gone. Because I've heard too many stories of you take your eyes off it and it's gone. So she's recording. As she's doing that, I'm still looking in her direction, and I'm looking at the base of this tree on the tree line. There's the path and tree lines. And all of a sudden, what I see was, the only way to explain it was, do you ever see Harry Potter or Frodo with the cloak?
Mhm.
Um, it was, I'd love to say it was the Predator, the head, shoulders, arms, body, and everything, but it wasn't. It was just kind of an oval type shape, or like egg type shape. And after looking at it and going down there, I'm sitting there looking at it. We're about 40 yards away. I swear the woods, this distortion, moved behind the tree right when I made eye contact with it. And I'm
Wow.
like, yeah, I was excited to see that, because I'm like, I know what I saw. This is, during the late morning. So it's like, I saw this. And after we actually went down there, my best guess was a little over 6 foot, 6.5 feet of what this was. But the kicker was, Maddie was having her sighting of what she was seeing. I had mine of the distortion. Ben, who's really grounded, I mean,
Mhm.
he wouldn't say anything unless it had hair on it, and it bled.
Right.
That's how he was. But he walks up to me, because he was about 20 yards to my left. And all of a sudden he walks up to me and he goes, this is going to sound crazy, but I saw something that looked like a distortion move from that tree way to the right really fast. So it's almost like I saw it moved behind the tree, and then it took off in a diagonal angle. We heard nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But all that led us to coming back out. I think me and Ben came out a week later, and that's when we did our measurements and all that. And then we started hiking. That's when I found the print.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And that was a night. What was the size of that? It was really big too,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
it was 17 and a half by 4 at the heel, 9 at the toes, 9.5, close to
Wow.
6 in the middle, which is weird. I don't want to say weird, but a coincidence that every print that I have found, and I'm going to call them a print, because I can look down and go, that looks like a foot. I'm going to measure it. And they're all coming out to 17 and a half to 18 inches.
Interesting.
And again, depending on how you measure, obviously,
Right.
because if you have dirt and you're not getting the full measurement. As a matter of fact, I thought my print that I casted was like 14 inches. But after Steve Coles looked at it, he could totally see where the heel was. And this is before we were cleaning it off and everything. I'm like, because he has the eye for it. And that's what it was. So
Wow.
it's your typical size.
So let's get into your most recent encounter. Only happened pretty recent. So let's get into that.
Well, the one that changed my life.
The one that changed your life.
Yeah.
Share time.
Yeah, I'm still processing,
Mhm.
because I'm trying to be normal, and I feel like I'm gonna kind of bare my soul here, right? Is the doctor in? Is it Lucy?
The
The doctor
doctor's in.
I said,
Doc, Dr.
don't.
NonnaBoss, right here.
Okay, don't pull that football away when I try to kick it. Okay, Lucy.
Promise.
All right.
Won't happen.
No, and so this was just this past Saturday. I tell you, it was around 3:07 p.m. because I could tell by my body cam. A friend in fellow researcher invited me out to an area that I haven't been in the kettle, but literally it's 4.5 miles from my research areas for the past 10 years. And we went out there. We had a really wicked snowstorm in southeast Wisconsin. And I was going to go up there no matter what. I mean, I was actually texting Bryn because he said I'll be there at this time. And I feel like I'm in a winter wonderland globe, like I'm Santa, because it was just a whiteout. It was crazy. And the reason why I'm saying this is because the area that we got to, I went out there and it was like mystical because it snowed so hard. It was sticking in all these trees and all these really super tall pines that were like 4 stories high, just all up there. And it looked like a winter wonderland out there. And I'm finding I'm being shown by Bryn, these tree structures that defy what I would say would be natural. Again, I always said I want to kind of stay grounded with the tree structures, but when you're really looking at them and you can't figure out how they got there naturally, that means they were placed that way. Now, I think we were talking about this earlier before we got on. Just because it's the woods, did a Bigfoot make that? Just kind of like if there's an old house, is it going to be haunted just because it's old?
Right.
But at the same time, you got to look at something had to have done this, and now you're going to say it's going to be people. Then you start taking these huge trees that are lifted really high and these weird shoved in weaved type structures that you would think 2 people couldn't do that. 10 people maybe, but then again, it's the why, right? And it's the way it was designed and everything. And I remember a lot of times whenever we see these tree structures, we'd always say like, okay, well, that one is pointing to water. This one's broken, pointing to, so who knows, right?
Right.
But when I look at these things, and we're going to go back with my air quotes vibe, I get a good feeling when I'm looking at these. It's and I think that's where I kind of came to on Saturday when I looked at these. I actually felt these tree structures when I'm looking at them, and I can't explain them, just except maybe awe, aspiring, like wow. I mean that's cool, the way this is weaved and put up and balanced, just these weird things. And of course, that you got that little bit of skeptical side looking up, saying, okay, if that tree fell here, if that branch fell here, you're going to try to. But when you can't find that, it's hard to come to an ultimate decision on that until you realize, Bigfoot is real, Sasquatch is real. What it is, people are always going to debate that one forever until either they connect with us. And I even hate to say when one shot or something, because it makes me sad. It's like I know they're there, and I feel like they are I don't want to say a primitive people. I think they're an advanced people, in my opinion. And I think that that's the type of feeling I get out there. And again, feeling isn't really science. So it's basically, it's almost like a faith. I always talk about my faith in Jesus. It's a faith. And I'm not going to compare Jesus and Bigfoot at this time, but what I'm saying is the feeling that you just know, and it's just me. It might not be you. It might not be half the people that were ripping on my page after this. It's like they don't know it's me.
Right.
And that's kind of what I feel when I see this. So we were out there for several hours. Sorry to, drag
You're
this one
fine.
along, but we were getting ready to leave. And literally since 2015, I started raising my hands, kind of like stick them up, not way up, but kind of like this, with nothing in my hands, because no flashlight, no weapons, no bear spray, nothing, just my hands. And I would always wave to them. It started as a joke. See, I have nothing. Come out, right?
Yeah.
I started doing that in 2015, and I haven't stopped. And I'll give it a wave all the time. It's kind of like my card. So if anybody else gets a wave, if they see one, that was from me, and it just got transported with all the cousins to wherever they went.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm saying this to pretty much to the woods, and I still see it because it was so white, because of the snow. And then the backdrop, because this wood's kind of wrapped around, and I could see a field way out there, maybe 125 yards. Now you can see more white, but all before then, just perfectly lined trees and the snow on the side of them.
Mhm.
And just like that, I saw this jet black figure on the sorry, it's,
Take
talking
your
about it.
time. Take your time. Take your time.
Sorry. It's embarrassing.
Oh, it's not embarrassing. Not at all.
So when I saw it, it like ran through 3 of the trees. They're closed trees, and I have this on my Facebook page right as of now, right now, and it was upright and it was jet black, and it was almost like it was a cross country skier.
Mhm.
And here's the weird thing is people said, well, how long did you see it for? And I kept saying 1.2 seconds. Honestly, I really don't know, but it felt like time stopped to where I got a good look at what this was. And it almost reminded me, this is going to sound a little funny, but if you ever Google search Bigfoot silhouette, okay, just look it up. It almost reminded me because it didn't have like it was moving. It was just like this stuck in motion time on skis. And it was
Wow.
just, so maybe it was 2 seconds. The video, my body cam that I wear, for everybody that wants to know, was my body facing that exact area when I had my sighting? No, my head was. This is looking this way. My head's turning this way to my right. And that's when I saw it. So I was able to record my reaction. And my reaction is I gasped. I never gasp. I never, like that.
Yeah.
And I heard again, I'm not thinking this, right? We're done. We're leaving for the day. We were in there, we were looking at tree structures, and I'm saying goodbye with my hands. See you later, guys. See you on the other, my other areas down there. And boom, that's when it happened, just like that. And I wasn't prepared for it. I remember after seeing it just being so, I saw it. I saw the head. I saw the shoulder. And because it was long but big, so this is maybe 100 yards, maybe 90, 100 yards, and I still saw the outline perfectly. So it was huge, and it literally took my breath away seeing it. And I think that's the tough one right off the bat after posting it, because I was really excited that I had my first true, there it is, daytime sighting. And people right away, did you go look for tracks? And just like the body cam, right after I had my sighting, Bryn is off to my right, and she's like, where? I pull her and put her in front of me so we have the same line of sight. And I pull her right in front of the trail cam. So if it was still around, I just totally blocked that whole thing out because I'm not thinking of my
Because you're
body
not
cam.
thinking about it, right?
And I wasn't even thinking about prints. Why wasn't I thinking about prints? Because I have found so many, over 10 years, and I don't mean thousands, but I found enough to know that's what it is. In fact, I just casted my first cast in January. It wouldn't matter to me if I went down there and there were no prints. That would not make me question what I just saw.
What you saw, right.
Honestly, that's me. There's other people that would beg to differ, call me a bad investigator or whatever. That's their opinion. Mine was just to accept what I just saw. This is not at night where you're tired or early in the morning or eyes or whatever. It was plain as day to me. Right. Now, and that's in my heart of hearts. That's why I think it's hard to talk about. Since this has happened, I've had different. It could be the adrenaline. There's a lot of people that are saying, "Congratulations, welcome to the club. You're now a knower." And it's weird because I'm like, no, I was already a knower.
We're a knower.
I was already a knower, but the way my good friend Steve Fry put it, he goes, "Yeah, but you think about it this way." He actually texted me because I told him the same thing. It's like I'm trying to reach out to get help. That's how I feel. Sunday I felt that way. Monday, well, it's Tuesday now, but I feel very different now, and I don't know how to explain that. And the way Steve put it, he goes, "Jay, think about if you were looking for a bear for 10 years and you were finding nothing but bear tracks, and then all of a sudden you go around the corner and there's a bear reared up at 10 feet. He goes, there's a difference. You knew that bear was there because of the prints, but now you actually saw face to face. And it's not like I had a Harry and the Hendersons face-to-face encounter at all. In fact, it really wouldn't be that exciting if you just told somebody, I saw it and moved left to right. Oh, really, Jay? Good. All right, what are we eating for lunch? A lot of people wouldn't understand it, but I think because it happened to me, it's making me see things differently now. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop hiking. I enjoy going hiking. It's not about trying to prove to the world that Bigfoot exists or the people that follow me. And I have so much support, which I love. But at the same time, I
oh my God. Did my internet just go out? Oh. Am I still live, guys? Was that my internet or Jay's internet? I don't know. Okay. Well, he's not backstage. Can somebody in the chat, do y'all see me? I don't know if that was my internet or not. No. Oh, thank you, Val. Okay. All right, guys. Something must have happened. Oh, here he comes.
That was weird.
It was so weird, and I thought it was my internet. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, oh no.
That too, and I'm actually looking at my Wi-Fi right now, which is 100% strong.
That's so weird.
That was weird. Also, I'm talking, and all of a sudden I'm talking to a blank screen saying, oops, something went wrong.
It's a government conspiracy trying to
don't get me going on that one. But I agree. All right, so that's pretty much where I was, is that it was it feels like it's been a little life-changing. And it's hard to explain because I already thought I knew before Saturday, 100%. I knew Bigfoot existed. I knew Bigfoot was out there. Just the different behavior, not just the prints, but rocks thrown at me, seeing beady red eyes in the dark without light. Things like that really made me know Bigfoot was out there. But now it's even different because it's like it's really there. Like I can't unsee what I saw. Honestly, I feel blessed that I did. and it's, I've had a lot of good support with it. I'm still processing with it because people are like, you still on cloud nine? And I'm like, yeah, but I want to get off cloud nine because it wasn't like it came up to me and grabbed me or anything that gave me, PTSD or, like I'm
Right.
shaken up by it. But why am I still so waking up at 4 a.m. and just ready to go? I'm not tired. I don't know. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And so I'm still processing. It just happened a couple days ago. And, it's been good. I'm just glad my body cam caught my reaction. Actually, listening to myself, I was kind of embarrassed. I'm like, that sounds like a girl. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna say anything, but a girl would be like, and I'm like, that's how I sounded. But I didn't realize I did the gasp.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I'm at. It's like first one I told on my way home was my wife, and she's been on the fence and has her own little bubble of what's real, what's not real type thing. But very supportive, and so is Maddie. I called her, and of course Maddie
Oh,
can
I was
totally
gonna say
relate.
she
Maddie
must have been
totally,
all
yes.
like,
She's like, yeah,
wow.
now see. And I said, no, I already believed you. She goes, yeah, but now do you really believe me? So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. And I know we were talking before we started the show, and you were saying you just got to process it, and
You do.
you'll get back to normal again. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be normal. It's not that I can't function, I can't go to work or be
Yeah.
super dad. That Saturday night, I took out my youngest daughter on a daddy-daughter dinner, buy her shoes, date night. But I got to be honest. It's like, even though I was there, I wasn't there.
You wasn't there. Yeah.
It's tough. So, but it'll get there, and it'll go on.
Yeah, I think that, so many of us kind of, when we have these encounters that are, I don't know, for lack of a better term, they're nonviolent, they're benign. They don't harm us. I mean, when I had mine, I was it was a very spiritual moment for me. And it was kind of just like, I didn't want to share it. And then I was praying that I had photos because I was taking photos I was like, oh my gosh, it's gotta be, if I just take a bunch of
You had to
photos,
have
I'm
gotten
sure I'm gonna
something.
get it. And it's like, well, I get home, I don't see what I saw in my photos. But then 3 or 4 months later, because my daughter-in-law was there and she was taking photos, and I found my Sasquatch in one of the photos that she took that day. So, but I've only shown it for just to a handful of people. Like, I've never posted it, and and I never will. And it's just for me. And it was a moment for me. And I
Yeah.
keep it to myself.
No,
So
it's
it
100%. It's like you were saying at this point, after I posted what I did, I mean, Facebook or that a lot of, I want to say trolls, but they're baiting me, trying to just tear me
don't take
down
the
and
bait.
the negativity. But the thing is, it's I was telling you earlier before the show too. I understand it. You got to kind of put yourself in that position. It's like,
Mhm.
you know, Jay's not right, and neither is he, or am I right and you're right? You'll never be able to prove that, but it's understanding where they're coming from. I still don't like the negativity. I don't expect everybody to good jet, which they
Right.
have the support, but I wasn't posting it for that self gratification of
Right.
that. But it meant something because even before seeing that, when my sighting, when we were walking out there, and this is weird. Sometimes I'll just put my hand on a tree. Again, I didn't play my Renaissance flute music, doing my little dance, but it's a way that I just kind of feel a little bit more in tune with nature.
Mhm.
Okay, and I put my hand on one tree, one of these really super tall pines, and then like kind of like a goalpost. Then there was one to my left. And I was able to put both hands on it and just like kind of like feel the energy type
Yeah.
of thing.
Right.
That's what I was thinking, like maybe I'd get zapped or something like that, but I didn't. I just kind of put my hands on there and kind of leaned down, which I think maybe Brent thought I was going to pass out. But I was just kind of just taking it in because it was quiet, little wind at the top, snow falling on us, beautiful. I swear the one on my left moved as if I was going to push this 4-story tree down. It
Wow.
gave way. And that was really, it was really freaky because I turned around and look at the tree and I'm like, I want to make sure that it wasn't like a leg, to something, because it was really, it was just odd. And again, we're all in different places in our journey.
Yeah.
I started off at the total scientific, which again, I'm human and I'm still going to question things. Obviously, I'm not going to go out into the woods and think that there's a Bigfoot behind every tree or every tree structure is Bigfoot made, or or anything like that. But I'm getting more and more in tuned with that. Just with, I think, just going out and just enjoying nature, enjoying the wind, the snow, or during the summer, the crickets,
Maybe,
the birds.
maybe because you were just soaking in the moment and where you were, and you were in this new area, and you were, you know what I mean? Like you were just
Yeah,
kind of feeling the vibe,
yeah.
right? And maybe that vibe played a part. I don't know.
And again, I don't know. I'm just kind of, you're the doctor. The doctor's in, so
Yeah.
I'll give you a nickel after the show. But
Okay.
but
I'm gonna
yeah,
hold you to it. I'll send you my cash app, and you can send me that nickel.
yeah, exactly.
So
I
let me
will.
ask you, when are you going to put out film number 3? Tell me you're
Oh,
working on it. Please tell me.
I'm not.
Not yet?
No, I'm done. I'm just
You're
joking.
done? No way you're
No,
done.
no, I know. My wife gave me a timeline. You don't understand putting together, and it was when you're doing it all yourself. That's the thing.
Right.
You're
Matt,
right.
I've
You're
I've
right.
seen Matt with that same wrestle with that same thing, so I get that.
Right
Yeah.
now, see that you have a day job and that you have
Right.
kids, you have your wife,
Yeah.
you've got family commitments. There's
Mhm.
so much that goes into it. And the one thing about me is once I start a project, it does it. That becomes my obsession.
Yeah.
And that might, you got to try to find the balance
Yeah.
doing that, and you really do. So anyway, my wife was like, because a lot of people have asked me, is there going to be a part 3? And it's like, Katie's like, give it
Oh.
8 to 10 months before you start on another one.
Okay.
Because she wanted me back, mentally
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
there. So yeah,
Because
but
it's a lot. I mean,
it's
it's a lot. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of thought. It's how you're going to tell the story and the scenes and the footage, and and there's B-roll, and then you know what I mean? Like I've watched Matt do this so many times, and it's
that's what.
monumentous when you have a wife and you have children and a full-time job.
Right, and
It's
it
just
is. That's the hard part. My first film, The Fighting Jay, in 2019, actually was longer than Avengers Endgame, and people were like, "Jay, you have to keep this to 60 minutes," and I'm like,
you
"How
feel
am
like
I
I
gonna
can't.
do that? I'm trying to tell a story," and I was able to cut it down. I got it down to just 2 minutes over 2 hours, and everyone's like, "That's too long," and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and do this for the rest of my life. This is my story. It was a drop the mic. I told my story. That
Right.
was it. That's all it was going to be until I got that bug.
Uh-huh.
Like a little bit later, where I'm like, oh, there's lights out here, and then I'm having experience with thermal images peeking behind a tree, and then it turns into a ball of light,
Mhm.
and it evades us, and then all of a sudden you're crashing through the woods. I'm like, did this solid Bigfoot just turn into a ball of light to evade us, and then became solid again down there because it was a loud crash through the woods. I was like, whoa, all right, that's starting to read Ron Moorhead's The Quantum Bigfoot. And
Right.
all of a sudden, that's what I'm saying. That's where I kept evolving. And I know a lot of people are just kind of stuck where they're at. that, that's them and that's their journey. And you know, I could be, the odd one. My mom always said I always marched to the beat of my own drum since I was a
Yeah,
kid, and I'll do that today with whatever it is. Just think outside the box, hunt the truth.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Gene Hudson says, Jay, hugs to you. And you would have known. You would have known if you saw if it
Oh,
saw you. So
yes. Well, and that's funny because one of the and that's great. I love that comment, Gene. But the funny thing is, somebody actually wrote one of the, on my thing of they were happy for me. They said they commented, Jay, just think right now there's a family of Bigfoot that said, I just found Jay. And I thought
love
that was
it.
so cool. That's so cool.
Well, when you disappeared, Primal Cry wrote, she was like, somebody go find Jay.
Oh, really?
And
Oh,
Karen S says, hi, Karen. Finding J3. No way there won't be one now. And you may get enough for Finding J4.
I
So
know,
I'm
right?
on board. Karen, I'm right there. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I tell people
Well,
all the time, I'm like, I have five documentaries that are my favorites, and 2 of the 5 are yours.
no. And that's awesome. And I appreciate that because
Yeah.
it's like I enjoy doing this, but I want to put out something to make the viewer think instead of
Right.
me coming down like right now I'm kind of telling you this is how the vibes and the woods and everything like that. But when you're watching a documentary, it's either you could push it down someone's throat, saying that's what it is, and it's kind of like, well, Jay, what are you talking about? It could be this too. You have to cover all that. I like to just kind of uh, show you what I've captured that I couldn't figure out.
Mhm.
Let you come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
It's basically how I like to do it. And again, getting to that point, will there be a Finding J3? Absolutely. It's already rolling in my head how it's going to go.
Yay.
But it's when I have to get through the.
You got to take your time.
Yeah, exactly. And I wish I could do that. A lot of people were saying, well, my first film, I made it so long, I should have broke that into 3 parts. And I'm like, but you know what? I don't want to just keep putting out series. Um, like a TV show series. It's kind of like I want to make them theatrical.
Yeah. And Gene Hudson wants to know if you're going to the Marionette. What is it?
Yep.
Marionette.
Monogamy. Do 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 do.
I can't say that.
Bigfoot.
So,
Monogamy. Do do
are
do
you
do.
going?
Um, I don't think I'll be able to make this one, Gene. And I was there last year.
Okay.
But I mean, so far I'll be speaking in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the end of September this year, and Kansas City, Missouri in
Okay.
October. So it's basically when these things get lined up. It's for anybody watching, I don't pine to go speak if I'm asked. If I'm asked and it's out of state and that's worth that time. I love talk, as you can tell. I love talking.
Mm.
I love talking to people, or I just talk all the time. And sometimes
No,
it's
not
like,
you.
shh, Jay, be quiet, settle down, don't drink your full throttle.
Exactly. Don't drink it too quickly. You might get a heart attack. You never know.
No. Energy drinks. This was only because I had a taste for one. Last one I had was, I don't know, a couple months ago. I really don't need them. My favorite is coffee. That's what I
Yeah.
love. Coffee's my favorite, but not cold
I'm,
coffee.
I'm a water girl and a hot and like chai tea. That's my thing.
Really,
Hmm.
nothing like a Maxwell House and a K cup.
Yeah, it's not good for me,
Yeah, well,
but that's okay. I mean, I still have coffee sometimes, but when I do, just a little bit of cream, no
right,
sugar. I'm
right.
boring.
No, that's not at all. It's however we take it.
Jay, thank you so much for coming back and sharing everything with us. It's just such an honor, that I have a friend in you. You're not just a guest, you're actually a close friend, and I love you and I love Maddie. I just You guys are amazing people,
And we
and
love
I'm
you
so
too.
blessed.
You're
No.
you're a I wanted to say just I don't want to say a good friend, and we love you the same. But you have what you were talking about earlier when you kept me backstage for like 15 minutes when you're talking in the beginning. I'm joking. I'm joking. I loved it. I loved it because I wanted to get on really quick,
Yeah.
come out of the backstage and hey, but is it's your calling because I think you get that you understand
Thank
people,
you.
and I think you really can help. And I know we talked Saturday on the phone where I'm still dealing with this, and I know, like you said before the show, Jay, it'll get better. It's like don't be such a drama king. It'll get better. Just let it. You didn't say that, but that's how I
I didn't say
feel.
that.
That's how I feel. I'm like, if I don't talk about it, I'm being a drama king, and if I talk about it, I'm being a drama. So it's like,
No.
but it's all good. Anyway, thank you for having me. Thank you, Marty, for coming onto my show tonight. You have been a great guest.
Seriously though,
Yes.
I'm telling you, I really appreciate the fact that you shared all of this tonight with my viewers, with my family. This is my soul tribe, right? I call everybody my soul tribe because it's like we all are on that same vibe. So, you know,
Yeah.
thank
It's
you.
a it's a you're very welcome. Like I said, it's different people want to hear
Mhm.
different things. And it's not that I would say things because it's this type of show or this way because it's a different
Mhm.
type of show. You got to kind of stay true to yourself.
Yes,
At least,
100%.
actually, saying that, I'm saying that to myself. Jay,
It's
stay
true.
true to yourself, and
Yeah,
doggone it, have a good day.
that's
Just,
right.
but it's
Gotta keep
hard. We all know that.
positive.
But
Can you hang out
okay,
for just a little bit backstage?
absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you again. I'm gonna
Oh,
put you
you're
back
welcome.
to
Oh,
sleep,
I'm sorry.
and then I'm
I'm
gonna
just sitting
say
here talking
goodnight.
to
I'm
you.
gonna say goodnight to my peeps over here for a minute, and then I'll catch you backstage in just a second.
All right.
All right?
Bye.
Thanks, Jay. Wow, guys, wasn't that awesome? Tell ya, there are just some guests that are friends that you just seem to kind of love them even more when they come and they share and they bear their soul with us, right? I'm so appreciative. Thank you, Jay, again. Guys, I'm sorry. I knew Jay and I kind of really needed to get a lot out tonight, and I didn't really get a lot of your questions. My apologies. Um, Definitely be back here next week because I've got Alexander Petikoff from Small Town Monsters, and he is going to be here with us next Tuesday. So definitely do not miss that show. So I will see you guys. Um, Let me get my outro because I didn't have it ready. So y'all have to bear with me for 1 minute here. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Bye.